The magazine Forbes came in and did an article several years back. And I remember there was a photograph in the article that they used. The picture to me so captured the love between my son and myself. And someone said in the process of that article being written that Jacob's Ladder is really a love story from Amy to her son, Jacob. And so I love that. Our core values are hope, truth, and love. And for me, hope represents this complete, pure belief in the power of transformation. Jacob was born with a diagnosis of pervasive developmental delay. And I can think back when I got those first diagnoses, I ended up with all these documents of all the things that were wrong with him. Those were sad and desperate and fearful days. Even on the tough days when he was struggling just with the basic things of life, if you looked at his face and you looked at his eyes, was this knowing and this kind of light and this twinkle that just said to me, gosh, I'm in here. I'm in here. And one day I just woke up and I thought, no more, no more information. It's not going to be this information that changes my son's life. It's going to be me picking a path and then giving myself to it fully and persevering through these tough days.
The fullness of your grace is here with me. The richness of your beauty is all I see. The brightness of your glory has arrived. In your presence, God, I'm completely satisfied.
He's now 20 years old and he passed his driver's exam and he has a black truck and he loves to drive and he's an avid reader and he's also a teacher here at the school and has such a gift for sharing his life and his knowledge with the children that we serve.
I feel like my perseverance and my patience has been strengthened so much just working with the kids that I work with and just staying with them and staying focused and trying to keep them focused, and also just them teaching you so much and like teaching you how to live life, because they are filled with so much happiness and so much joy, and you just feel that coming off them and you just want to mirror that off them. So I just love that.
For you, I sing, I dance, rejoice in this divine romance. Lift my heart and my hands to show my love.
The science is a lot of the truth and the facts and just the sheer evidence of what's in front of you when you have a child who is struggling and who has some kind of special circumstance. Sometimes it's really tough to look at the truth, but if you're willing to look at the truth and kind of stare it right there, stare it down, and then say, here we are, and here's what I'm going to do with this, so that you're not defeated by what you see as evidence, but taking that truth as fuel for momentum forward to growth and possibility.
To show my love.
So the Jacob's Ladder methodology is a model of neuroplasticity. It's a brain-based model that is changeable based on the child that walks through the door. So their day is going to be built for them specifically. When you apply the methodology and you do it very consistently, because that's how the brain works, it changes and grows and adapts based on the stimulation it receives. So a child here at Jacob's Ladder is going to get a very individualized, intensive day that is specially designed for them. and combining it with so much hope and love and compassion for the children that we serve, that in my heart I feel like it's the best in neuroscience, and it's the best in how one human being gives to another human being in a form of sacrificial love.
So that one-on-one individualized attention, but not only is it the one-on-one aspect, it's the balance of just science and love and creating an environment of hope and being able to plug in with that child every minute and every second and every breath that child is here.
A deep, deep flood, an ocean flows from you, of deep, deep love, yeah, it's filling up the room, your innocent blood has washed my guilty life in your presence, God. I'm completely satisfied.
People come and visit Jacob's Ladder, they will inevitably say, there's something different here. I feel something different here. And then they'll walk through and they'll see the staff working with our children, and they'll always say to me, where in the world do you find these people? Where do you find these beautiful people?
Walking into the older building and walking into the crowded kitchen and just seeing so many smiles and everyone just being so happy. And then I went to the opposite building and walked up the stairs and met Amy and immediately knew that that's where I needed to be. When I walked through Jacob's Ladder's doors, I saw the potential of each child and the parents and the kids, and everybody felt it.
What makes our teachers different is like together the joy, the love, and the humor, and the patience, and just has to be a combination of all those. But if all those things are together, I think it'll show in the students, and they'll show in their progression, they'll show, and you can feel the atmosphere in the school when all those people are in the building.
For the families, that's really what they get day in and day out. They get a team of professionals who wholeheartedly care about their child and that family and only want the best.
People come and they visit and they feel the spirit of the people here, and they know that these people arrive at the front door of this school, and they all have very busy and sometimes complicated lives outside of their work here at Jacob's Ladder, but they have made a decision to leave those other things at the door and to walk in and empty themselves of their own frustrations and their own issues and problems and concerns and complications in their own lives, and which we all have, you know. But they walk in and they empty themselves of those things, and then they just become a vessel for delivering hope, truth, and love. You know, for me, love is an action word. It's not a feeling, it's an action word. Love is a choice. It is something that you show up for every day, whether you feel like it or not. It is an act of honoring and holding someone else's higher good, their better good, even above your own. The methodology that's been created over the last 17 years of my career is really useless unless someone delivers it with that spirit.
The most exciting thing is being able to sit in the parent training, the parent overview, and have these parents that really are sitting there with no hope and having gone to so many places, and them saying that the child has this diagnosis or they're never going to be able to do this, but I can sit there and say, hey, today when we were upstairs, your child said all of these words to me and they identified all of these pictures, and being able to have that parent across from me and just, you know, tears in their eyes and just being so thankful that someone believed in their child.
We brought our son here 4 years ago. It'll be 4 years in January, and I just feel like it's a house of love and a house of support for him to do his best, to become independent, to be all that he can be. And the staff here for me are like angels. They really know how to love and know how to exude their hope, truth, love philosophy to each kid.
In 2008, we moved into our campus, this new campus, which is such a beautiful home for us. It's perfect. And it's a facility that I've always seen in my mind as the perfect facility for the work that we do. We have 5 acres of beautiful land that is a safe and open space for kids to be outside and to explore. We're growing gardens, we've got goats, we are getting our chickens soon. I mean, it's just this little oasis of, I don't know, safety, something different for kids. Get them out from in front of the television, put the iPad down, put the iPhone down, come and be outside, be in the sun, move, run. Learn how to nurture another living thing, whether it's the plants that we grow or it's loving on the goats or the therapy dog that visits.
And my hands to show my love.
For Jacob's Ladder, I mean, that's all we're about, is just that one-on-one individualized attention, providing hope, truth, and love to these families that really came to us and thought this was their last hope.
They come here and they receive that loving, nurturing, just wholesome, pure environment that just opens up the light for them to grow, succeed, and reach their fullest potential. It's just a bed of fresh seeds that are just waiting to blossom, you know, and it doesn't matter what shape, size, you know, where your seed comes from. You know, as long as you're planted within the boundaries of Jacob's Ladder, you know, your possibilities and potentials to grow and succeed are endless.
Now as I'm an adult, I can see that the outlook that the doctors did, or the experts gave me when I was a baby, it doesn't match up to the reality of my life, and I'm living a normal life. I can drive, I can read, I can write. I'm also a teacher here, so I guess I beat the odds, and I know that each child here can beat the odds just as I did.
And that's the possibility, and Jacob's Ladder is really built on knowing that every child that walks through our doors has that same possibility.
My heart and my hands to show my love, to show my love.
I would say that probably one of the greatest gifts in the world to me about having Jacob was that it completely crushed the illusion that I have control in my life. God has a way of throwing something at you to go, how are you going to control this? And I was completely brought to my knees in the midst of that fear to see that for me in my life personally, it was the opening to knowing that there is a power much greater than myself that I can rely on. So rather than sitting back in fear, I put the fear into action, and the action is called love. And one of my favorite scriptures is, love thy God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your mind. And I think when you do that, that fear can be replaced, and then what we're left with is to then love one another.